is also considering a sweeping new policy that would require all citizens to carry a form of identification at all times. The move is part of a broader aggressive strategy to enforce proposed new age restrictions on alcohol, marijuana, and gambling, and to bolster the nation's fight against crime. Here's more.
The proposal comes as the country contends with one of the region's highest homicide rates. The government plans to raise the legal age for alcohol consumption to 21 and for marijuana use and gambling to 25. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander says a mandatory ID policy is a practical necessity for police to enforce these laws on the street.
So some persons must work with some form of ID in order for the police to ascertain your age and your address. So it's something that we're looking at.
This initiative is a component of a much larger overhaul of the country's security apparatus. The minister emphasized that modernizing the police service with technology is critical to disrupting gang activity and reducing public fear.
One of the things I would have learned while I was there is how important technology, that role technology plays in this fight against crime. Because Jamaica, they had some of the best technology.
The planned technological leap is ambitious, aiming to phase out antiquated methods entirely. This includes equipping police vehicles with real-time data access, deploying body cameras, and eliminating paper-based reporting.
The police officer going out on a report should not have a desk diary in his hands. Those days have come and gone, and probably the last regime have left us behind.
By linking the mandatory ID proposal to a comprehensive technological upgrade and tougher laws, the government is signaling a fundamental shift in its approach to law and order, betting that modernization and stricter enforcement can turn the tide on crime. Jewel Green George for Tobago Updates Television News.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 1, starting at verse 1, going all the way down to verse 6. It reads, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night, and shall be like a tree planted in the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor the sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp here in Trinidad with another edification, another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Alright, so first and foremost, Kal Halayam, La Alahaya Nawa, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakadosh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Double salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching the truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Akwat, which is the sisters that listening and learning. Okay, so the title of this edification is, now guess what's next after this? Alright, guess what's next after this? Yeah? Guess what is next after this? After they come about and implement mandatory identification, that everybody must have an ID on them, So that where is that, right? It's going to have it is going to have mass random stop and check on citizens, on the people, on the masses. All right, where they're going to be asking you for your identification card and what have you, so forth, to be able to identify and verify who you say you are. All right, but guess what is next after this? All right, they're going to leave off from your tangible identification, which is your ID card. All right, which is in your ID card, and they're going to move on. They're going to move on to what? They're going to move on to the digital ID, which will be on your phone and what have you, so forth. All right, and then from there it will be the end goal. The goal what they're looking to reach at, which is the RFID microchip. All right, there's where it is. There's what it is. That is what is next. You see, it's all about conditioning and gradualism and conditioning. Alright, a term that I ain't used in a while. Alright, but there's where it is. It's all about gradualism and conditioning. Alright, so they're gonna condition you all to be moving with your identification card. Alright, and then they're going to gradually come in with a technology, by the way of by the technology aspect of it, by the way of digital ID. Alright, they wouldn't be accepting no more ID card. Alright, your ID card itself, And from there, it's going to move to the real thing, what they want, the true agenda, which is the RFID microchip. Here's what they go. This is what it's all coming to. That's why I say, guess what's up next. Alright? And a lot of you all, your head so down in the sand that you all can't see. Alright, what this is actually about. Now they would use, and this is why they need for crime. They don't want crime to lessen down or so to speak, They need for crime to continue. They need for serious crimes to be on a high scale. Alright, the murders and the home invasions and what have you, so forth, the car thieving, all these things. They need for crime, to be on a high scale in order for them to come about with their mischievous acts by the way of law. Alright, that's why when I go to Psalms, still staying in the book of Psalms 94 and 20. Psalms 94 and 20, where it reads, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law?" Yeah? Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? Alright, and this is what it is. Alright, they need for crime to be on a high scale so that it could be justified with their mischievous laws that they are bringing to actually take away the sovereignty from the people. Now look at this. This is something that I wanted us to speak on for a long time, and the opportunity finds itself now. It finds itself now. Now watch this. We have a new ministry now. All right, since this regime has come into power. All right, we have a new ministry now by the way of Homeland Security. All right. Now let me tell you something. Let's go back. We in 2025, so let's go back 25 years back. 25 years back, there was something that took place that turned the whole world upside down. That reshaped the world. All right, which was 9/11. Now, when 9/11 had took place, prior to that, there was no ministry, I would say, let's put it that way, pursuant to Homeland Security in Babylon the Great in America. Now, and you see, this is why that's to show you how the deception of democracy plays on the mind of the people. Huh? Yeah? The deception of democracy, this is how it's playing on the mind of the people. Now, they didn't have any Homeland Security. It's not until after 9/11 they implemented that ministry, so to speak, all right, of Homeland Security. Now, the thing about it is, when 9/11 had took place, all right, there was a vote, so to speak, to bring in this thing, I think it was among the Congress or something like that. So I'll get more information on it. But more or less it was a vote to bring it in, and the people, even the masses, they was in support of it. All right, the average everyday Joe, all right, they was in support of bringing in this homeland, this department, the Department of Homeland Security. All right, now this Department of Homeland Security, it's not really about securing your homeland. All right, when you really dig deep into it, it's not about that. It's about robbing the people blindly of their sovereignty. All right, so you have terms. You have terms or things that they get the into. All right, as in how to address this, boy. Pursuant to the domestic teas now, boy. All right, that along that lines, that avenue, that's their main framework in detecting domestic teas and what have you, so forth. And according to their dogma and whatnot, so forth, every citizen within America is considered a domestic tea. All right. Now, as I say, Homeland Security, all right, Homeland Security was really implemented to take away the rights, the sovereignty of the people. All right, to slowly take away the rights of the people. So you have things like what, as I say, the domestic teas. All right, high crime wave and all these things that plays into this whole thing there, where the Department of Homeland Security could now be justified in coming about with new measures, new laws, new laws being drafted upon what have you, so forth, that is actually infringing on the rights and the sovereignty of the people. All right, go look it up. Don't just take my word for it. No. When it comes to Trinidad and Tobago, we never had anything as a Ministry of Homeland Security. We have a Ministry of National Security. But this Homeland Security that we have implemented is of the same playbook as in Babylon the Great, because at the ending of it all, Trinidad and Tobago is a province of Babylon the Great. All right, so it's the same playbook. with this Ministry of Homeland Security and what their true intentions is or are, all right, where the people is concerned and the sovereignty of the people, the rights of the people, the freedoms, the liberty of the people. I wouldn't say freedom, but liberty. All right, but liberty of the people. And this is what it is about. This is what this Ministry of Homeland Security is about. And this is just the beginning. This is just the first step into what they are truly meaning to do. You're going to be seeing more legislations drafted up, all right, more legislations being passed, and becoming law, all right, that is going to be very, 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 very oppressing unto the people. And you see what caused that, what you people so stupid. What is the main architect of that? The main architect of that is your democracy. That is the main architect of this whole thing here. That is bringing about all these draconian measures, draconian laws, because of democracy. Because remember, you all follow your democratic way of life by the way of voting and what have you, so forth. Which voting is really an illusion, right? These two parties, they are all controlled by the elite, all right? They just give you the illusion, all right? But because you choose the way of democracy, it makes the way, it paves the way, all right? Democracy is something that paves the way to take away your rights by the way of your constitution, your constitutional rights and what have you, so forth, all right? Which was written out and carried out by the inception by of your sovereign nation, all right, the creation of your sovereign nation, that which this is what the country is going to be guided by and ruled by and what have you, so forth, all right. So with democracy overrides all of that. Hence the reason why you would see things in Babylon, all right, pursuant to what executive orders, where all these presidents, all right, from Trump to Biden to what his name is, Obama to Bush to Clinton, right, Bush Jr. to Clinton to Bush Senior, Reagan, yeah, Nixon, going all the way back, to the past presidents of before World War II and what have you, so forth, your Lyndon Baines Johnson, all right, who else again I could call? Lyndon Baines Johnson, Truman. But before Truman was Eisenhower, all right, and yeah, Truman and what have you, so forth. A matter of fact, let me check something here. Let's check something here. Let's research something here. Let's check something here. Who was the first president to SING? No. SIGN, to sign an executive order. Yeah. All right. So you see, all right, the first person to sign an executive order, the first presidential to sign an executive order was George Washington. He issued his first executive order on June 8, 1789, instructing the heads of federal departments to provide him with a comprehensive overview of their respective areas of government. While executive orders are now a common presidential tool, they weren't always formally documented or tracked. It wasn't until Franklin D. Roosevelt administration that orders were formally documented and published in the Federal Register. Right? So the thing is, when you go to research executive orders is something that that overrides the Constitution. All right. So with the Constitution being override, it really holds no value. All right, it really holds no value because it have been override. So that particular presidential order pursuant to that particular Constitution respectively, it holds no more weight in value. And there's where it is with democracy. There's where you get with your democracy. You understand? That's why when you go to Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 1, I think I will go back to that, Psalms 94. Yeah? Alright, so Isaiah 10 and 1, it reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless." Alright, this is what it is all about, because these laws that they're bringing in is all about oppression, is all about taking away your sovereignty. Alright, and oppression. Alright, because what's their true agenda? Their true agenda is to have full control, total control. This is what it is all about. It's all about having full control over you. Alright, so they're gonna come with the digital IDs after, because I said it's control, is conditioning. Alright, conditioning the minds of the people that they have an identification, on them at all times. Alright, and it's gradually going to evolve into what? Into the digital ID, by the way of your phones and what have you. Yeah, your devices. Alright, your electronic devices. And then what? It's going to reach to the end game, which is what? The RFID microchip. Because as others always say from time to time, the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Alright, because this is what it is. This is what it is. It's the whole end game for you to be marked. Alright, with the mark of the beast. Alright, but it's more than just buying and selling. Alright, it goes way beyond buying and selling. Alright, because remember the scripture says, pursuant to scripture that's come to my head as I'm mentioning that, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3, where it reads, "Let no man," 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, "let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition," which is who? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Verse 4, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." Alright, because this man has what? A God complex about him. Okay, so this is the thing here. This man, alright, he wants to tag every single being upon the face of the earth, man, woman, and child, especially you Jakes, mainly you Jakes. Alright, because this man, he sees himself as the Most High God. Alright, and with that tag, they could be able to have full total control over you, whether it be by the RFID microchip in your hand or the Neuralink and what have you, so forth, in your brain. All right, in your hand and in the forehead, as the scripture says, Revelation 13:16. All right, which we will get in a bit. All right, but this is what it is. It's deeper than just being able to buy and sell, pursuant to Revelation 13 and 17. Pursuant to those who have the mark, they can neither buy nor sell unless you have that particular mark. All right, but it goes deeper than that, than you being able to buy or sell. It's about them, being able to have full control over you. It's about them, having you pledging your allegiance, having that proof of pledging of allegiance to the beast, to the beast system. All right, that you choose to go with the beast system. All right, there's what it is. So this is why gradually, and this is why I know a lot of people is going to fall for it. All right, a lot of people is going to fall for it because they don't have the slightest clue. All right, this Ministry of Homeland Security, you really think that is really for your benefit? All right, now here the guys that they're using with it, again, crime. All right, crime. They would watch me. Let me tell you something. You have to be real foolish to think that they're really all about solving crime. That they're really on the aspect of addressing the seriousness of crime. No, they need crime, because if you live in a crimeless society, all right, they're not the system that they set up, all right, is not really going to work, so to speak, all right, because everybody benefits from crime. Everybody benefits from crime. All right, in some way, some form, some fashion, the other. All right, everybody benefits from crime. All right, some way, some form. Okay, the police, all right, they benefit from it by the way of having a job in order to do the policing, to detect the crime. Then you have the lawyers, you have the magistrates, you have the judges, all right. You have the justice of the peace. You have who again? The bailers. What else again, boy? Excuse the noise on the background because on the plantation. You have the contractors. All right, you have the contractors like the ones who doing the transportation of the prisoners. All right. Then you have contractors who doing the meals. All right, who provide any meals for the prisoners and whatnot, so forth. So crime is a serious business. Crime is a big business. All right, it's a big business. But apart from that, the business aspect of it, all right, there's the nefarious agendas with the powers that be. All right, the powers that be that is thinking that is actually thinking real deep, which goes back to I can leave out this because I don't need to go to all of that. Which goes back to Psalm 64. Psalm 64, and I think from 5 or 4. Psalm 64. Alright. I'll go to the point. I will start from verse 5. Psalm 64 and 5, it reads, "They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily." Alright, and part of that snare that the people is being walked into right now, alright, as your Minister of Homeland Security, Minister Roger Alexander, alright, they're about to implement what? That it is mandatory that everybody walk with a identification card on them, whether it be a driver's license, your passport, or your ID card, or whatever. that is being able to identify who you say you are. All right? The people is not seeing the trap, the snare within it, because it is something that is of gradualism. All right? Conditioning your mind and gradually bringing in their whole true agenda, what it is really about. So as it says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares. Privily they say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. All right, a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So as I said, all right, aside from the business side, the business aspect of it, all right, the powers that be, they are into something much more nefarious and much more deeper, which is to mark. They need the crime. They need for the crime to flourish in order for them to have the platform for them to come about with their nefarious laws, with their wicked laws and what have you, so forth, to implement, to take away the sovereignty, the liberties of the people, and bring them into a whole dystopian atmosphere. You understand what I'm saying? This is what it is. And the masses, they're not seeing it. The masses, they're not seeing it. They're not seeing it. And that's why they all, again, the boiling frog effect. All right? When you do your what I want to call it, experimental, for lack of better words. All right, pursuant to the boiling frog. All right, you will take a frog and throw it in hot water, and immediately the frog will jump back out of the pot or the bowl or whatever. But hey, put that frog in cold water, and put that bowl with the frog and the cold water, all right, over a stove or a fire, any sort of fire, all right, and gradually, the water start to get hot, from lukewarm to hot, from lukewarm to warm to hot, all right, to extremely hot, all right. And what is going to take place? That frog is going to boil. That frog is going to boil because there was a difference in temperature, in the sense of you didn't just put him into the fire just like that. All right, you put him in, and gradually he ended up getting cooked. And this is what is going to take place with a lot in you all. Alright? You all in seeing that your so-called government is actually boiling you all. Alright? Right now it's on I would say it's on warm. And not even lukewarm, it's on warm. Alright? It's on warm. And pretty soon it's gonna get hot. Alright? And from hot it's going to change to extremely hot. Right now it's on warm. Because they're telling you that it's going to be mandatory that you walk. But wait till it reach to the point of digital. Alright? That is when it started to get hot. From there, the RFID microchip. Oh boy, it's all over. Extremely hot. Because they're going to make that mandatory also. Alright? That is going to be mandatory. If the normal ID is going to be mandatory, where you feel the RFID microchip and will be mandatory, you sadly mistaken. You are sadly mistaken. You understand? That is what it is. And a lot of people is going to get caught up. Except for the hopeful elect. Alright, because we are the ones that is being occupied in prophecy. Alright, and is keeping on our watch and seeing all the moves that is being made. Hey, your boy Trump, they just signed what? The Genius Act. which is to what to move away from the fiat currency, all right, and start to change over everything into digital cryptocurrency and what have you so forth. Yeah, wait, hey, you all about to be cooked, man. That's why when I go to 2 Corinthians 2:11, it reads what? 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are what? We are not ignorant of his devices. Alright? We are not ignorant of the wiles of the devil, man, and all what he has intended, alright, to ensnare and trap. Alright? That is why the scripture encourages us, pursuant to 2 Peter. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. 2 Peter 5. Is it? No, it's 1 Peter 5 and 8. 1 Peter 5 and 8, it reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Alright? Seeking whom he may devour. And there is where it is with Esau Edom. Alright? Because it's all about snares and traps that they are setting out, alright, to catch the people, to catch the masses. You think these people stupid? That's why they make a diligent search on all what they're doing, man. Alright? Both their inward thoughts, their heart, it's deep. When you dumb niggas want to think on the surface, hey, these people, man, they no, brother. They're thinking as deep as the Mariana Trench. That is how deep these people thinking, man. That is how deep these devils thinking, man. Alright, as deep as the Mariana Trench. Yeah? Take a look at Psalms 10, and I think this will be the last. Psalms 10. Alright, Psalms 10 and 1. Psalms 10 and 1. It reads, why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. And what is that device? The RFID microchip, man. Alright? For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Yeah? His ways are always grievous. Oppression. Alright? The laws, the oppressive laws, and all these things, the draconian laws. Alright? His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Because why? He's in rulership. Pride. He had said in his heart, I will not be moved, for I will never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait. Yeah, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. Yeah, to catch the poor by the way of their conditioning and gradualism, pursuant to their laws, their respective laws that they are bringing out. Alright? He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. And a lot of people is going to get caught. Alright? A lot of people is going to get caught because they will be like, this is what the government is implementing, and in order for us to survive, we have to go with what the government is saying. Alright? Because they lack faith. Let's just put it that way. They lack faith. Alright? They lack faith, and the trust in Egypt, the trust in the system. Alright? They trust in the system. They believe that the system is designed to work for them. Alright? That's why they go out and vote, and they talk shit about we exercising our franchise and we put them there. Nigga, you ain't put nobody there. Alright? You was just fooled into believing that you had a choice in going and stain your finger in that blood and put the X by the Balizé or the Rising Sun or GLP or PNP over in Jamaica, and all these respective political parties. Alright? Here's where it is. They fooled you all. Alright? You all been fooled by the seat of democracy. Oh boy. It says, he croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He saith in his heart, Yahweh hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it. Alright? This is how these people think. They think that the Most High is not seeing what they're doing. Alright? That's why they think themselves to be a God. Alright? Arise, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. O Yahweh, O power, lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble. Wherefore doth the wicked contemn Yahweh? He had said in his heart, thou wilt not require it. Thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief and spite to requite it with thy hand. The poor committeth himself unto thee. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. Break thou the arm of the wicked, and the evil man seek out his wickedness till thou find none. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his hand. Yeah, this is what's going to take place with Kamala. Alright, she's going to perish. As a matter of fact, she's going to be taken into slavery. Alright, she's going to be taken into slavery. Alright, that's what's going to happen with Kamala and all Elamite compatriots. Alright, all them Elamite. As for you Jakes, who is following after the heathen, alright, yeah, you all going to receive a debt. Alright, the Most High is going to put you all in the most painful and grievous, slow, agonizing debt that you could ever experience, that anyone could ever experience. Alright, seek out his wickedness till thou find none. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. Lord, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare their heart. Thou wilt cast thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. Yeah, there's where it is. There's where it is. That is why I will leave with this last one. That is why the Lord said what? Psalms 2:1, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords away. Yeah? Cast away their cords from us. Verse 4. He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. There's where it is, man. There's where it is. But I'm telling you, what is next? I'm telling you, what is next? What is really about to take place? Alright? So, hey, I hope you all are edified through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. This is your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp here in Trinidad. Alright, signing out, saying Kal Halayam La Alahayanawa Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahushai Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahushai Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone at Rulewell. Double salutation unto the brothers who preaching, teaching this truth through the four corners of the world, risking their lives and the freedom to do so no more than ever. And shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites. Shalom unto the very few but faithful Aquat. Hey, we almost out of here, boy. We almost out of this wicked place, man. Wabat Babal.